Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Wine Down Wednesday with Real Girls Wine. I am one half of Real Girls Wine, Yana or Yana. Unfortunately, Teresa could not be with us tonight, but we're going to carry the torch. Um, so, what I'll do first is I will tell you guys what I'm sipping on tonight, which is Smithberry Winery Sparkling Moscato. I guess you can't see it because of my background, but I can definitely tell you that it is delicious. So I'll go ahead and let the other ladies introduce
Moscato.
themselves and give you their drink of choice for the night.
Hi, my name is Keisha. I'm one of the Real Girls Wine ambassadors. I decided to switch it up a little bit tonight and not do wine. I'm doing Crown Royal whiskey, so I
Okay,
need something,
big
need something a
girl
little
tonight,
stronger.
huh?
Goodness, she done came out herself, got that crown.
You ready for
Okay.
a cigar with that crown, huh?
Oh no, I do not, sweetie. I don't do the crown with my cigars. No, some people do. Some people do. I'm just playing.
Okay,
I'm
thank
just
you
playing.
for that, Keisha.
I'm Latrice. I am the second ambassador to Real Girls Wine. I am just sober tonight. Had a long day, but I'm with you guys in spirit with the libations.
So she's drinking water.
Oh,
You ain't even drinking a Presidente or nothing.
Nah.
Oh, well, I don't even know what I'm drinking. I just pulled something out of the cabinet. I'm not a wine drinker, but I said, what the hell? Real girls just wind down Wednesday, right? So this is some
absolutely.
what is it? What is it here? Y'all can tell me
You
what it
know,
is since
Okay,
y'all
Pinot
Pinot
Grigio.
since y'all the
Okay,
experts. It ain't no raw crown raw apple peach
thank you.
and
We
some
definitely appreciate you
and
following the
Moscato. You know I
rules.
was gonna drink Moscato, but I said nah, I didn't want to go there. So I thought but Moscato's good. It's good. But I
Hmm.
have something for this occasion. So I'm honored to be on with you ladies.
Thank you. Well,
We are
welcome,
honored to
welcome,
have you.
welcome.
Welcome. So tonight's guest is going to be Chris Moore, owner of Carolina Blue Cigars. It's very nice to meet you, Chris. So we're going to start off with a couple of questions for our viewers to get to know you. What was your why for starting your business?
Um, hmm. I can come at it at a different couple of angles there. My why was jumping, change a little bit. The why was more of I used to work in tobacco a long time ago, and it was brought to me to try it again, and I said, well, why the hell not? And just did it after some long thinking and marketing and test products, and here I am 7 years later.
Mm. Well, congratulations.
Mr. Chris, can you tell us some of the mistakes that you experienced along the way and then what helped you like recover and get over those mistakes? What did you learn from them?
I think I'm gonna have to go get some like bourbon to talk about this.
Hey.
Uh,
We
no,
got
it's
time. We got time.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them mistakes. In business, things you do aren't mistakes. They're things that you learn to grow from. Um, One of the things that I grew from was, as any small business person, you get into business and you think automatically your surrounding cast is going to support you right away. That is definitely not the case. I learned that pretty quickly, that you have to venture out and do your own thing. Um, the second one would be stay in your lane. Let the people that know how to do things. And you do what you do best and let them do what they do best. So those are some of the things right there. And always learn, always be open minded to learning new things. I'm not to say I'll be all stay on your vision, never, get off of that track, but always be open to learn and grow as an individual. And that will also enhance the business as well.
Okay.
What would you say, like, just piggybacking off of that question, like when you first started off, did you were you one of those business owners, which a lot of us typically do this? I know I did this myself when I first started being a speaker, because that's other stuff that I do is I'm a motivational speaker. I depended on my family to be my I depended on my family to really be my support when it was actually complete strangers that end up being my support. So did you be like, my family gonna support me, or was it actual strangers coming in and supporting you?
It was both. It was both.
Okay.
I mean, you always have that thought process where your family's gonna jump on board,
Mm-hmm.
and that's always in the you're like, hey, I'm making everybody proud, but eventually it switches to, especially when it starts growing, that kind of goes away. To me, family, you business, pay for what you get. You want it, buy it. You know, but I'll put some more in the bag for you. But it's just like anything else. It's like it's a business. And strangers do uh, support me a lot more. It's like I'm here in Charlotte, from New York. Grew up, not too far from here a little bit, and I go back to New York and I get mad love in New York. It's disheartening. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. It's disheartening sometimes when you get more support in further areas away than you do it right in your own backyard. But sometimes you have to go out, and sometimes people want to see, or you do things in other places, and then they want to jump on the bandwagon when the bandwagon might be full and it cannot fit anymore. So everybody's not for your journey. So that's just how I look at it, in a sense. Hope I answered your question. Did I answer
Yes,
your question?
yes, you did.
Okay.
Yana, you got a question, Yana?
Yeah. I know that in business, like you said, we think that our family are, going to support us, and then they don't.
Mhm.
Um, and then the strangers support us. How did you find your motivation to keep going once you saw your family wasn't supporting you? Because we've had to deal with that as well. That some of our family don't support us, but we still have to continue to do what we do to be successful. So, what were some of the things that you fell back on when your family wasn't supporting you?
Well, I'm known to be a devil's advocate. First of all, I never got into business for my family. I got into business to create a a oh, my mind just went blank. A structure to possibly take my family to another level, or a different place where they are, my kids, and give them something they can look forward to. So it was nothing that I said I'm gonna start a business for my family, because you should always want to start something. In just my opinion, within yourself. You know, but we tend to want to. Now the fruits, the low hanging fruits might fall into the family's lap, like a bigger business. Somebody in your family may know something, or be like a designer or whatever, and you bring them along. It's like my son. I bring him along with me to get a taste of the business. But I haven't. I can't say that I started a business. No, I know. I didn't start a business because I want to do this for my family. I did it because I knew I could run a business, because something that I enjoy. You should always start a business on something that your own self loves to do, that you don't mind not being paid for, but you and enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not yes, your family's gonna clap for you in the background, but as we're saying, sometimes the family's like, you get the bad, the vibes from the family. They, some of them are like, hey, you're doing well. Some of them are like, oh, I hope he fails. So it's your own individual path. So I can't say without a doubt that I started this because my family. It's not a family business at this time.
Hmm.
It's just
It's
Carolina
you.
Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not even me. It's bigger than me. It's really
Hmm.
bigger than me. It's the extended families that I get from the factory. It's extended families that I get from the brick and mortars that support the brand, um, and the people that work for me, my team that works with me. It's not, if things fall into place and it works out that we can all eat at the same table. When it's grown with me, I'm not gonna push people away. It's like we all eat, so to speak.
Mm.
So when family falls in, they fall in. If they don't, they don't.
Right.
It's
I get that.
that's
Okay.
just my thought.
Mhm. Can you give us a day by day of the operations?
You got like
Uh,
4 5 hours. You ready?
just
No,
just a little
Can you
snippet.
sum it up in 5 minutes?
5 minutes. You're lucky you got this hour tonight. Put it that way. No, let's make it very clear. Unless you're the top legacy brands in the United States, I don't care who you are. Some people are doing well. This is not a business. If you don't have a side gig making a boatload, not say a boatload, but a good amount of money, um, then there is no operation. So, um, for me, on the Carolina Blue side, for me on a daily basis, so I also work for the federal government. So I do that most of the day. Then I come home, get myself together from a long day, deal with the little ones, so to speak, and then I may get to start up into my thousands of, not say thousands, or tens and twenties of emails. So for the last 6 years or so, I've been rogue. I've been a rogue small cigar maker, meaning a lot of it, the operational side has been done by myself, meaning I'll go to the factory, I would create, with some assistance, creating bands, packaging. I was lucky to pick up distribution. Sales is part of it. I don't really have with my schedule. I don't have a lot of time with sales. That's why in some places in the United States, you have maybe heard of me, you may
Mhm.
have seen me, but I know the brand should be out there a lot better. So lately, I've been scaling back my claws into things and actually putting together a team to assist me in those things. So from an operational standpoint, I do my best to run the company instead of having a company run me, like it's been. So I can't really give you a day-to-day operation because there really hasn't been any structure as far as uh, things that we accomplish. I've been kind of successful on my own. It's been very successful by just doing everything from a one person, or to I have friends that help me uh, when they can, and that's it. So, but now I'm going to change the boat around, and then maybe if you ask me again next year this time, I can say yes. Every day at 2 o'clock we have this meeting. Blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
But right now I can't give you that at all.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't give it to you.
You
Can you
gave us a
talk
little bit.
your
A
pro?
little bit.
Can you talk about your products and like for me, I'm a rookie. I don't know much about cigars. Like what would you suggest starting with? Um, accompanying drink because I heard you say not wine. You prefer what when you're smoking your cigars? Like give
Um,
us.
so Carolina Blue has 10 production cigars,
Okay.
five Nicaraguans, five Dominicans, but we have a total of probably 15, 16 SKUs, meaning five other ones here or there. It could be small batch, maybe something I can play with. Um, so they range from a Connecticut to a Habano, Maduro, and some local stuff. If I tell you, you probably would know what I'm talking about. To a Skuros, to Sumatras. We have a couple of Sumatras there too. That's been hidden in the humidor for a bit. But for a beginner cigar smoker, It's funny you say that. I'm actually smoking on something that would be great for a beginner in a sense that it's not too overpowering. So if you were a beginner smoker, I would first of all don't be offended. I would ask you, have you ever smoked cigarettes or have you ever smoked weed? I mean,
No, I'm done
this
hookah.
could be
I'm done hookah.
okay.
I can't.
That's the next one, hookah. So the reason I'm asking you that is to see if you have the mechanical function of how to draw a cigar.
Okay.
That's the reason I'm asking the question. Because if you smoke or you whatever you do, it's still the same mechanics of
Mm.
bringing in the smoke. Like, because that's where people tend to like, they want to swallow and all that stuff. So that's the first question. So you just said hookah. Okay. So that means you like something fruity or whatever.
Mhm.
So I don't have anything fruity. I use another word for it, but you ladies on here are very respectful, so I'm not gonna tell you what I usually say.
Floral.
Um, I'm
Floral.
not gonna tell you what I usually say, but I do have several cigars, or most three that would, if you were a beginner smoker, that it would not overwhelm you. Meaning, cigars have a bit of a nicotine a feel to it, where for the I don't know, what about any of you two smoke? None? You smoke?
I smoke
Keisha, you
Mary
smoke?
Jane. Mary Jane. Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah. I smoke occasionally, but I would say I'm still a beginner or,
Yeah, me too.
she said Mary J.
Beginner.
Smoke that
Mary
Mary J.
Jane.
Okay. All right, girl. I ain't mad at you. You like what you like. All right.
yeah, but that's why we
Um,
have the expert on here because we trying to learn.
Right.
no, that's fine. I don't have no. There's nothing wrong with that. You're grown. You do what you want. Yeah. You done did what you need to do. But anyway, so I would suggest something either a light, which it's three levels. There's three levels of cigars profiles. It's a mild, a medium, and a bold. Some people say full body, but
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's bold. So if anybody says anything else, don't tell nobody. I'm telling you this. It's mild, medium, and
And both.
bold.
Bold.
So if they say
Yeah,
full body,
I've
full
heard
body
full.
means bold. Full body is the smoke content when it comes out. So just so you know, you got it from the right person. I'm gonna just tell you that. So for a, I would try to introduce you to more like get the mechanics, something light and some flavor, so you can not get yourself exposed to something that's going to give you like a head rush, so to speak.
Hmm.
So I would try to suggest you something mild to medium with some flavor, and it might not be mine. Um, it could be somebody else's, and but I would of course offer you mine. So I have a Maduro Toro that's light, a lot of flavor. I also have a Connecticut, Dominican. It's a lot of flavor, but it might be a little bit too much for a beginner. But a lot of times, the beginner smokers that always come to my booth, they really like the Maduro because of the aroma and it gives them a nice flavor and didn't give them a head rush. So
Hmm.
then we would go through that whole process of how to smoke. Well, let me back up. How to light a cigar, meaning how to toast it, how to take the draw, go through the mechanics of don't smoke, don't, take a draw every 45 seconds, 30 seconds, depending on how it burns.
Oh,
The understanding of how it's too hot, that it will either canoe or char up at the beginning. So there's an art to smoking,
I
like
see.
drinking wine. Like you take your wine every so often, you
Swirl.
take a sip
So,
and you wait till like a minute or so. You know, look at y'all laugh. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It is. It's similar
Okay.
because you're savoring the flavor. Like I just savored what I just drank right there, and I'm getting all kind of notes in my mouth. The same with this cigar. You smoke it in, take one or two puffs, savor it a little bit, and blow it out. And all of that smoke content kind of film coat your mouth, and you start getting flavors in your mouth. So one or two things are going to happen. Either you like it or you don't. That's it. Just like wine, if you like it or you don't. So if you don't like it, or maybe it's a little too strong, like maybe some, I don't know if you guys drink bourbon or whatever, but if usually a drink is too strong, you tend to go or whatever. Your body is
Mhm.
telling you something. It's the same thing with a cigar.
Mhm.
The cigar is too strong, it's gonna tell you that this might be a little too strong for you right now. And then as you go, you just build up to that endurance of your body to take that cigar off. And that's pretty much it, other than learning the different techniques of how to cut, um, which kind of cut you like. There's three different ones of those. Liking the size of the cigar. If you like a big cigar, if you like a smaller cigar, if you, what's your profile, what region. It's all kind of different things. Just like wine. It's like what region of wines do you like?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same process. Same thing.
And you didn't tell us what you like to pair with it.
It depends on what I'm drinking. Excuse me, what I'm smoking. Like, okay, so I have a So okay, I'll just say on my Dominican side, I'm a rum drinker. I like rum a lot. I have a lot of I have a slew of rums in my bar. Every time I go to the factory, I try to find something new. So most of my Dominican rums or Venezuelan rum goes really well with the Dominican side of the signature, which is the signature line. It goes really well with those cigars. Um, because if you think about Dominican Republic, you got mangoes, you have guava, you have they have cashews, whatever. It's very the Caribbean, so it's a lot of fruit. So you get that fruity flavor, not spicy but fruity. So it balances the cigar really well. So then you have the Nicaragua side. Nicaragua side is a little stronger, a little bit more bolder taste. Not saying it's a full body, but a little bit of strength to it. So I like more of the bourbons, like not Four Roses. We'll go with Eagle Rare. We go with anything in that category that I kind of like to drink with it. So it just depends on what it is. Or I may not drink at all. I may drink
Oh,
water, or I may drink ginger beer, or I may drink coffee, or
coffee and cigar.
um, yeah, or Dr. Pepper sometimes goes good with cigars. Ginger ale, of course, but yeah, it just depends. I'm not a heavy drinker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a social drinker. I can sip one glass of whatever it is like for hours. But my favorite libation probably is Diplomatico. Um, that goes good. And then my next one after that is Eagle Rare, and then I would probably say Four Roses, small batch, probably. I'm kind of getting into tequila a little bit. I don't like to drink tequila too much because it makes you do something strange for some change. So I
Ooh.
don't like to
Definitely,
mess with tequila too much. So
it definitely.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
And
does.
I
Tell
did
them on yourself.
14. What is it? 1942. Don Julio, I think it is. Yeah, I had some about a couple of weeks ago, and it went pretty well with my Nicaraguan cigars, which I was surprised. We had a tasting in here in Charlotte, and it went pretty well. So I might venture to try that later on and see how it works out.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I have a question.
I have an answer for
Um,
you.
what motivates you?
What motivates me?
Yes.
That's a good question. That's a good question. So a little bit about me, so you know where this is coming from. Um, I'm a 30-year vet. I retired 6 years ago, right when I launched, right, a year after I launched this company. So, what motivates me for the most part at this juncture in my life is I enjoy life to the fullest, and I love to be pushed, and just being happy, and that's the motivation as far as and as well as, of course, you always want to provide things for your kids and stuff like that. That's really my number one motivation. Is like I'm always pushing myself to do something different and extra. So whether it be life just in general, whether it be health or anything, that's usually my basis, because just looking back on things, I could say maybe at some part of my life I didn't push myself to the limit, So that's my motivation. I'm always tipping the scale, so to speak, and it's
Gotcha.
fun. It's fun.
Mhm.
Okay.
Awesome. Miana, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. You've given us advice about the cigars. You've told us a little bit about your story. What's the best advice that you were given that you would like to share with us regarding business?
The best advice that I was given: if you don't have any problems, then you have problems.
I'm
Can
sorry,
you
what was that?
elaborate on that? What does that mean?
If you don't have problems in business, then you have problems in your business. We're in business to solve problems. Like you should be solving problems all the time in your business to
Mm-hmm.
succeed. If your business is so smooth and you have problems. You have problems. That was probably the best advice that I was ever given. Because we're always looking for like, oh, this is so easy. Oh, yes, I'm making so problem now. Like I won't say it's a problem, but I'm always looking for the solution. Okay, how could I expand in different regions? It is a problem for Carolina Blue because it should be on a bigger scale. So me as the owner, what's the solution for that? Because you need to give up some of these things you're doing to give them to other people.
Have you thought
Simple as
about
that.
the idea of instead of sole proprietorship, collaborating with someone or bringing someone on and kind of a partnership?
Hell
Well,
no. No, I'm just playing. No,
I was
no.
like, "Woo."
he said that
No.
with his chest.
Yeah, I said it on my chest. Hell no. Um,
All righty
at
then.
some
Thanks for
point,
coming out.
at some at some point, you think about that, but it's not. It's. I mean, there's collaborations done all the time. As far as other businesses and stuff like that. But as far as on a business like grander scale, um, there's risk and reward to that.
Mhm.
There's risk of you may lose, your vision of where you want to do because they may take control or whatever. But I look at it as long as I can get people to understand and see what I'm trying to do and understand that it's just not my business. It's big. It's just as big. Carolina Blue is bigger than the owner by far. You know, so and we join in as one group and try to push it to the next level. That's all that matters. With me in my journey is I couldn't find people that understood what I was trying to do, or just jump on because like, oh, I'm in cigars and I can, they didn't understand that it was, if I leave tomorrow, if I stop selling cigars tomorrow, it's not a problem for me. So, but that's not it. It is, I want someone to understand that what we're trying to do. We have something that is very rare in a size organization that I have. I have a farm that grows their own tobacco. That can
Oh,
get
wow.
anything the resources or just I can't even say it. I don't walk into a garage and look for cigars. They're actually produced from the farm. So what I have is something very unique. We're not a big, we're not like the legacy companies that do that, but the status that the factory has in Dominican Republic is supersedes his name. So when I say I have enough tobacco or cigars that can keep growing for 5 or 6 years, the same lot or the same type of cigar, I mean what I say. I'm not gonna go and find something around the corner and try to change it. So that's what I mean by I want the people to understand that yes, when you get on with Carolina Blue Cigars, it's more than just saying Carolina Blue Cigars. You're in it. I'm a take you and show you the business. And if you want to venture off and do your own thing after you put your time in with Carolina Blue, by all means, that's what it's all about. Just growing people to do other things. Maybe they'll stay in the factory and do something else. But and I'm a loyal person to meaning that if you're with me, I'm gonna hang with you, and I want you to push me like I'm gonna push you. So it's very hard to find loyal people to be on your team.
Mm.
If that sums it up,
That
I'm
was
gonna
going to
hang it
be
up.
my next question, of what sets you apart, but I think you just said it. So can you elaborate a little bit more on, um, like the factory, and because to me that would set you apart
Yeah, it
from
does.
other
It does,
businesses.
and that's why, and it's I'm in a peculiar position to where I see everybody doing what they do. It's kind of like the guy in the back of the room. It's kind of like the leader that's in the back of the room that you never see him in the front. So I'm in the back of the room and I'm just watching and I'm seeing. So I'm absorbing. And then I go to the factory. My factory's been around probably 15 years. The roots in the factory come from Davidoff. I can say 90% of the people there worked at Davidoff at one point. So they went in, got their own factory, bought their own fields, and started growing their own tobacco. And we actually grow tobacco not too far from Davidoff because we still have a relationship with Davidoff. So that in itself is um, is like leaps and bounds because larger companies have that, you know, key to success. The next thing we did is we moved from the outside, like I'll say I'll use, I don't know if you understand what the free zone means, but it's like if you have a store on the outside of town, we moved into the corp area. Like every city has a corporation area where you
Mm.
get different perks for that. So we moved into a different area within Villa Gonzalez that gave us more flexibility on importing anything that we want. So that means I can go to Brazil, I can go to Africa, I can go to wherever, and I say, hey, I want this particular tobacco. And a lot of times it's charged cheaper for us to import it. Other than if I was outside the fence, I would have to charge this tax on this, that on that, and that. By the time I got the tobacco, it's just too costly. So we were limited to the things that we could do. So since we're in the free zone, we have all of these options, all of these avenues. So when you look at Dominican Republic, there's 316 regions of tobacco
Wow.
within. People don't really understand how many regions of tobacco is grown in tobacco. So if you look at that region, all those resources, most of those resources are right in that factory. So imagine all the different cigars that I could conceptually come up with in my mind and that we can try. The last time I was there, which is about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we just came up conceptually, just standing around, came up with 6 cigars, just
Wow.
playing around,
Okay.
just playing around. So he's like, "Hey, come on, let's go do this." This one I'm smoking is one that we came up a couple of months ago. Yeah, this one is gonna be something that we're gonna put out in 24. So, but if you're in Vegas, you get to try it in Vegas next week. But yeah, that sets me apart. But I could come out and say that, like, yeah, I'm with this person, that, but like I said, the brand is bigger than me. The brand is
Mhm.
bigger than what I say. So I want the brand to grow organically, to get its own feats, to get its own reputation. People know when I come out with the smoke, I'm not coming out with just something I just made up yesterday. I
Mhm.
put a lot of thought into what I do. My cigars are made from my is based off my individual life. You know, I named the cigars after my childhood. Some of the things that I did in my childhood. I'm gonna name a brand after not brand a series after my daughters. I'm gonna try to do a series on some of my military career, and just whatever else comes next. So I base everything that I do on based around my life or maybe my family's life, depending on the mood I'm in at the moment. But organically, I've grown with the factory. Like when I show up, They know that I'm not coming to just talk cigars. I'm going to go ask like, hey, how's the kids? Hey, is your mom still okay? Hey, you need anything? That's what I do. I'm not coming just to talk business. They call, we talk about everything. People visit me, they stay with me. I go visit them. I stay with them. So it's a family. It's a bond that we've grown over the last 5 years. And I've said this many times. If I stop making cigars tomorrow, I'm gonna still have some kind of attachment to the factory because that's how we've grown organically together. So that's kind of I guess what separates me from anybody else is I know the day-to-day operation, what's going on in the factory.
I think that
Awesome.
interpersonal relationships are very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Really.
And I just wanted to know. So, if going onto your website and then you say you travel, so if people want your products, your cigars, they go on your website or they meet you at these different venues. Like, are you like a vendor at different?
Yeah, we have like cut lights at different stores. You
Okay.
know, it's like I said, we're building a sales team now. Um, and a lot of times the team travels with me somewhere, or a lot of I'm really trying to get out of that business of me traveling all over the place.
Mm.
Um, the distribution is coming along. Really, the thing that I do is from my website is I just sell the sampler packs. I want to sell, have everybody be able to try something small. So I don't really sell the boxes anymore like I used to. I leave that to the stores because that's they need to make the money off of that. If I stole boxes, then I don't need the stores, so to speak. So they sell the boxes, I sell the samplers, and they can run back to the store and say, "Hey, I like this particular one. Do you have it?" And that's just how it works like that.
That's
So
really smart. And then you're not stuck with all that inventory. You got it in the store. That's
right.
smart.
So is there any advice that you could give like upcoming entrepreneurs or just people that have been in the business for a while? A lot of times people don't know how to manage business and personal life. Usually one
Tell me about
you
it.
usually one declines and the other one rises. So is there any advice that you can give on having a good balance and just how to work together with
Well,
all of that?
for one, I always tell people, like people always ask me, um, what'd you do different? I can say, one, I would say when I first started, I came out with 3 cigars first. I would have probably changed that and just did one and just mastered that one in different forms. Um, Now I get even now as an owner, I'm looking at because I get crazy and I try to like, oh, I want to try this one, I want to do this one, and I'm always innovating and trying to do something different. So now my thought is reversing. So like in the next year, I'm going to decline production because I'm looking at economy. So really, you have to really, as a business owner, you have to really look at yourself. You have to really always evaluate your progress. You have to be realistic on your progress. You have to, like me, um I'm always what's the word I want to find out, my mind went blank again. It's as I'm always, I don't want to say being um picky, or I am picky, but I'm always evaluating my product. Like I'll grab a cigar and it might have been there for a couple. I'll smoke it and it's like, all right, I already know that. Oh, what happened to the cigar? Or and I can tell like who rolled this, and they'll tell me like he rolled it. I'm like, I don't want him to roll it. Something's wrong with this one. So you have to know your product. Know every facet of your product, meaning from when it goes into this to the ground. I'm just talking about my product. The seasons change. Where is it next? Where is it stored? How does the leaf taste that's going in? Because I try every leaf that goes in it. And then when you get the final product, does it taste any? You know every facet of the business. And then once you know your product, you should also know logistically how to move it. Like you should know, like each region, every region doesn't want a full body cigar. Every region doesn't want a Connecticut. But you should also know like what's selling and what's not. Know the laws of the business in general. Know the international laws, know the domestic laws. Know how to move your product without assistance. Like me, I'm my own broker. There's brokers that can move cigars. I'm like, why the hell I need you? I can do it myself.
Mm.
All it take me to do is they pack it, I'll put the shipper label on, it's gone. So there you go. That's one less thing I got to worry about. So it's a lot of things you need to know is in is out, and also be honest about your damn product. I tell you right now, my first product sucked, but I thought it was the best thing going until I started realizing that there's better stuff out there. So there's people who get stuff just to have it, but you got to also look at, not say your competitors, but you got to look at what is also in the same range as what you have. Because like me on my side, I use this as um, a suit maker, bespoke, right? If you're a bespoke maker, you want your apparel to stand out or be the best apparel. You don't want yours to be the same apparel that's on the rack.
Mhm.
You want a reason for people to come and get your product, and
Mhm.
that's the way I use Carolina Blue. I want people to have an experience. So my motto is, or my mantra, or whatever my tagline is, did you get your Carolina Blue experience today? Because every time you smoke my cigar, I want you to have an experience like you haven't had, with maybe a legacy cigar. Because my profiles, I do things particular that they know that that's Carolina Blue cigar. When you retro hail it, they know that that's Carolina Blue cigar. So that is some of the things. Know your business. Know how to get out of your own way. Know how to
That's
get out
great
of your own
advice.
way. So if you don't know, go find somebody.
Go
Go pay
find it.
somebody. Go pay somebody to do it. Yes, it hurts, but in the meantime, all that time that you're doing what you're doing and you're paying somebody to do it, you can make and triple the money that you could have been making by running the business other than having the business run you.
Right.
And I'm giving you that straight advice because yes, I'm going through it. And I know those things, but because I'm so hands-on and I've been, like I say, a rogue business owner, that and I'm very particular about what I do, and so I'm starting to understand. All right, you know what? Take the baton. Let me watch you run. So,
Okay. Yana, got any more questions?
We covered a lot. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
let's get back to
uh,
the
Mm.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
went
put
out.
the
my mic was muted. Sorry guys.
Oh,
So I know
sorry.
that you covered this before, but
hmm
with me being a new cigar smoker, um I know you said you recommend different things and then you went over medium, full body, etc. Which one of your cigars did you say you would recommend for someone starting off to smoke?
um, I have it's in your box that you got. It's the Maduro. It's the one that says Maduro on it.
Okay,
It's a
let me write that down.
even though it's dark, because there's a misconception out there, the darker the stronger. So I'm sure you heard that it's dark and strong. Because the darker right here I have right here, it's a Pennsylvania broadleaf. It's very right there. It's very sweet,
Mm-hmm.
very sweet. So that is not it. So what I mean is, so I'll use this example, and you can use it for cigars. So I'll give you a sandwich, a turkey and Swiss with horseradish, or a turkey and Swiss with mayo. Same sandwich, different condiment.
Mm-hmm.
One takes it higher, one is lower. So for you start, you like the turkey, you like the Swiss, but you don't like all the spice of the horseradish, so you go with the mayo. That's kind of what the cigars are like. It's all internal. So what you have to figure out is what the profile of the internal of the cigar is. Is it mild? Is it medium? Or is it full? So for my cigar, I would give you I would probably start. I would start you with the Maduro, and then or I would give you the Connecticut to get you go there. I would do those two, depending on what you've done in your past. Meaning, if
Okay.
you
What type of
smoked,
smoker?
if you smoke cigarettes, or if you smoke, weed, or if you did hookah. So I would kind of gear you up to what you can smoke because that tells me how your body is taking what you ingest. Even though you don't do the same thing with weed and hookah as far as take it down and bring it back. Everything with cigars is from the mouth to the nose. That's it. It doesn't go. It just isn't ingested. So that's the difference in two.
Okay. Again, I'm a newbie. I've said that
Mm-hmm.
several times.
Yeah.
But I tend to like the cigars with like I had an espresso cigar and then I had a
Mm-hmm.
cigar from Jamaica with white Hennessy. So
Mm-hmm.
for
Different kettle.
someone
Yep.
that's, kind of all over the place with cigars, I know you said the one that's in our packet, but do you have cigars like that with like espresso or um liquor that's dipped in liquor or something like that in your brand or no?
You want me to answer just yes, or you want me to give you the real answer?
The real answer. We all grown on here.
Hell no, I ain't got no damn infused cigars.
Well, here's the disclaimer. Here's the disclaimer, and I'm just
No,
asking
it's,
the
again,
question
With the
don't
hell.
get me
that
wrong. It's
everybody
it's
want to know.
no, it's fine. No, I just don't do. The reason why, and I don't have nothing against those because they do really well. They have a lot of infused cigars that do really well. So please don't think I'm hating on. I'm not. I
No,
just
that's
the
okay.
thing the thing about flavored cigars compared to mine's, there's a storage problem.
Mm.
So what happens with
Mm.
cigars? Cigars tend to um, what's the word I want to use? They tend to pull in with whatever they're around. So
Mhm.
if I had two cigars, one is infused and one wasn't. The infused cigars aromas would go into the one that doesn't have infused.
Oh,
So it's
Didn't
very
know
difficult
that.
to keep those cigars together because their flavors would start going into the other cigars. That's why some people, and these are some ideas you can do is for what you're saying is you'll get a mild cigar, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll get a bottle of your favorite libation, meaning bourbon or rum. Get a small little glass, put it inside of a box, your humidor, tape it up, leave it in there for a week or so. Bring it out, and a couple days later, you're gonna be tasting that libation in the cigar.
Okay.
Or you put it in a bag of coffee beans and put it in your humidor, leave it in there for like a week. You're gonna have the flavor of those coffee beans on the. So that's how it's a natural product. So you figure there's no coating on it. So
mm.
whatever is exposed to, that's what it's gonna take into its flavor profile.
So we can dip it
So
in chocolate or
Okay.
round chocolate and have a chocolate thin.
no, I wouldn't say dip it in the chocolate. So okay, let me help you on that part. So there are let's think about the regions of let's think about regions of where cigars or tobacco is grown. So if you think about Nicaragua, what is known that you know that you may do every day from Nicaragua?
What? I know Nicaragua is over there with Costa Rica.
Coffee, coffee,
Okay, coffee.
coffee. Okay, so you have coffee. So in their tobacco, you will have hints of coffee
Hints of coffee.
because
Okay.
of the soil of where it's grown is coffee. So let's go Mexico. Mexico has a lot of spicy stuff, right? You know,
Mm.
so some of the spiciest or peppery San Andreas, which is a dark Maduro, or wrappers are made in Mexico. If you really want to get a lot of a spicy wrapper, let's go with Brazil. Brazil has a couple of wrappers down there. One is a Brazilian Aparaca, which is very sweet, and the reason being is class.
Brazil?
Brazil. What is grown in Brazil?
Nuts. No, I don't.
Nuts.
Ain't nuts Brazilian nuts? I don't know.
Sugar
Chocolate?
cane. Sugarcane.
Sugar
Okay,
Sugarcane.
let's
cane. Okay.
sugarcane. I'm gonna have to have y'all all stay after class. Y'all need some extra credit. All
I
right.
knew it
But
was some nuts there. There was some
all
nuts.
right. But I don't. You know what? I don't really know where Brazilian nuts are made at, so I can't even answer that question. But there is you got sugarcane. So really, the regions where cigars or the tobacco is grown will tell you the strength profile of what is coming out of the tobacco. Dominican Republic really doesn't grow anything strong. Like they have some strong seasonings and whatever, but for the most part, everything has a lot of flavor. So that's why in the two regions that set themselves apart, even in Cuba, because everybody still thinks of Cuba, Nicaragua probably has the strongest cigar, the strongest tobacco. One, the process is a little different, but it's according to the region. So um, Dominican Republic has a different type of tobacco according to the region. Then you have Honduras. Theirs has a different flavor, a very distinct flavor, Honduran tobacco, because of the region. They also they also known for coffee as well. So you have all these different places. You have Indonesia. You have some tobacco in Jamaica. There's some tobacco in Puerto Rico. It's tobacco. We can go on and on and on. In some other regions, there's actually tobacco grown in China. I've never had any China Chinese tobacco. There's a lot of tobacco grown in Africa, Cameroon. Cameroon is very earthy, can be spicy. Again, you would think otherwise because you think of so many things that could come from Africa, but then you have to realize the region that it's coming from. So yeah, and it's just just how it is. It's like you. I don't know if you guys like mangoes, but if you have the Dominican mango, and then you have the mango from Chile and Mexico, totally different, totally
Mhm.
different sweetness. So, but kind of similar. So it's the same thing with tobacco. Same thing.
I feel like we like getting a whole history lesson today.
Look, I got
Well,
my
you mess
notebook
around.
right
I
here. I'm
mean,
taking notes.
it goes back to what I was saying before.
Mm,
Know your
Your
business.
product. Yeah.
yeah.
Know your product. If you can't tell me, and when I sell to a customer, I like, what do you like to smoke?
Hmm.
And they tell me what they like to smoke. I may not have exactly what they like, but I have
Hmm.
something that's in that range. Just like your wine. You're like, oh, I
Hmm.
like the Valley. Oh, I don't have that quite one, but I have this one from Italy that,
Hmm.
because you know your wine. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah. So we got some
Janice has a
comments.
question.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
was doing the same thing.
Oh,
Regina said great knowledge, and Jamie said you mentioned Carolina Blue cigars can be purchased from your site. What stores, lounges carry the brand? Great question.
Great question. Okay, so in Charlotte, we have Taylor Smoke. We have who has stuff in Charlotte? Taylor Smoke is our biggest distributor in Charlotte. We have Hickory, Taylor Smoke Hickory. The whole Taylor Smoke chain has it in the North Carolina area. We also have client relationship with Smoke and Barrel in Charlotte. We also have client relationships with uh, ooh, who else? I'm sorry. It's a long day.
It's
We'll skip.
okay.
So we go we go to we got Raleigh. We have Oasis. We have some mobile lounges in between there. There's some other stores. I'm sorry. Then from that region, we have Virginia. We have God, my mind just went blank. And we have New York City. We have Maduro's. We have Cigar Superstore. We have Cigars of Sunrise. Um, we have Ohio with some stores there. We have Las Vegas. We have Tappan Ash in Las Vegas. We have Tampa, Cheney, Oxford up in Orlando. Um, we're building
what
other
about
relationships.
Chicago?
Chicago, there's one store in Chicago. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. He's there. I forgot his name. It's a bunch of other ones I forgot. But we do have a shop in Chicago.
Okay.
Black owned shop there. It's a couple of black owned shops, so that's not helping anything. It'll come to me once we start
Nope.
talking. But
That
and
should
then
have
we
been
have
at
a
the top of your list since we in
Right.
Chicago. We'll let you slide. But while you're thinking about that, why don't you tell us, share what social media platforms everybody can contact you on or purchase your cigars?
I'm on all the social media platforms. Twitter, not I'm on Twitter too. Twitter, TikTok, um,
Hmm.
um, Facebook, um, Instagram, Carolina Blue Cigars. Type it in there. It's there. If you want cigars, so you don't have to go to the whole website, just type in shop carolinabluecigars.com. It'll just take you to a little bit of the story. We're actually revamping the website. The great thing that's happening, what I mean by transitioning, we got, and I have a marketing team that's actually rebuilding some things, redistributing. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the wine has got me. Reorganizing. I'll use that word. Reorganizing things to make it a lot better. My team out there in Black Resume is knocking that out for me. Um, yeah, and we're doing things. So if you go to shopcarolinabluecigars.com, that'll get you right to the sampler packs. Right now we have the Blue Light Special, which is something I just created, well, a couple of months ago, and it's pretty a medium to full cigar. It's a very for you ladies, it would take you there quickly. I think it would be too strong for you, but it's a very good cigar. It's a Nicaraguan. Also have all of the signature series on there, which is the Dominican cigars, and the Highway 101 series is on there, which is all the Nicaraguan. So you have those. And a lot of times, if I release anything, I would put it on the website, let the people try it, and then I would probably put it in production if it has a good review later on.
Okay.
Is it?
Well, thank
Eh,
you for that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We definitely learned a lot.
yes.
I took my notes, so I'm gonna act like I know
Yeah.
some stuff about
I
cigars
was over
now.
here taking notes too.
So
So
we
y'all are
definitely appreciate you joining us. So tune in next month where we'll have Carrie Wines with joining us.
Mhm.
Also for Real Girls Wine, we do have our Kentucky trip coming up where you can make your own bourbon. We still have a few seats left. That's August 18th through August 20th. So you can go on our site. Again, you can reach us on all social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok. We have a website, Instagram. Again, thank you for joining us and teaching us about cigars, the do's and don'ts, the ins and outs. Please join us next month.
why did I feel like I was in church service right there?